We're Vince and Valerie, and we're obsessed with growing food.
On our suburban micro farm, we cultivate over 50 types of fruits and vegetables and harvest hundreds of pounds of food every year right from our backyard.
Now we're sharing our passion and knowledge with would-be gardeners.
Join us as we design and build beautiful growing spaces and teach people the skills they need to produce their own food.
Let's get growing! Our friends Brianna and Chelsea have asked us to build a garden in their backyard. They live in a little house with a big backyard, but it's a little bit older, so it's nice and overgrown. We gotta clean that up so that we have a blank canvas to start on.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what we can do. Kind of a small world, actually. When my parents were first married, they had a house just around the corner from where Brianna and Chelsea live now. So it'll be pretty neat to go back to where my parents started their lives together and help beautify the neighborhood a little bit. The plan is we're going to build them 2 4x8 raised beds. This should give them enough growing space that 2 beginners can handle it. They'll be able to grow enough food that they'll be excited about it. And I think it's going to look really good and work really well for them.
Let's get growing. We just got back with a bunch of lumber for Brianna and Chelsea's garden. We're going to make some cuts so that the assembly will be a lot easier when we go to make their garden tomorrow.
So for this project, we are using a 2x10 for the sides. And we've chosen that for a couple reasons. One, 10 inches deep should be plenty deep for the types of plants that they're looking to grow in their vegetable garden. 2, a lot of times you'll see a raised bed built with 2 boards for the side. And we've encountered a couple problems with that ourselves. And what first is that over time, dirt will find a way to push itself through that crack in between those 2 boards, and it will start spilling out of the bed. And there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. And 2, it's pretty common to find 2 boards that aren't perfectly straight. So they might be a little warped, there might be a little gap, and it can be a little bit harder to really seal that bed up well. When you're working with one single piece of wood, obviously it's solid and it's going to be a great long-term bed for them to enjoy for many, many years.
It's install day at Brianna and Chelsea's. It's gorgeous out and we're ready to get going.
Yeah, so the plan is we're going to build them 2 4x8 raised beds. But before we can do that, we've got to kind of clean the area up a little bit and prep it down. It's going to be good.
Plus, we have a couple surprises that they don't know about.
Let's do it.
We're planting this garden during the COVID pandemic, so we're keeping our distance, but we got to keep planting and making sure that we're able to feed ourselves through the rest of this year. So we've got some plants here. The main reason why we're making this bed, we've got a zucchini, Brianna's got some oregano, and Chelsea's got a beautiful tomato. We've got some other herbs and some peppers to make sure that we've got a bountiful harvest. Chelsea, why do you want a garden?
I want a garden because I eat mostly plants, and I love to cook and experiment in the kitchen, and I feel like why not, you know?
Brianna, what are you most looking forward to eating from your garden?
I'm probably most excited about the jalapenos. I like a little spice in my life, so I'm excited to incorporate them into my everyday eating habits.
Our friends Chelsea and Brianna are fun, unique, and creative women. So we wanted to make a garden that would reflect their unique personalities.
Yeah, we've added a little extra flair to this garden that we haven't done on anyone's previous, and we didn't tell them about it. So we're really hoping that they're going to enjoy the little extra flair that we added to their garden.
You two ladies are fun, creative, and just super energetic, so we wanted to reflect that in the garden beds. So we did a little something extra that we've never done before, but just wanted to add a little pizzazz for you.
Are you ready?
Yes.
That's
Wow!
so cool!
So we definitely wanted it to be fun and funky and definitely unique, just like y'all.
Yay, thank you.
I'm so excited.
I'm super glad you guys like it. Let's get going, right?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So whenever we build a raised bed, we like to try to do it upside down on the flat surface like the driveway or the garage floor, because it's a lot easier to make sure that the top of the bed, which is what you're going to see for the rest of the year, is all flat and flush. And you don't have to worry about trying to hold the board up while you're putting screws in it. So once it's built, we'll flip it over and then we'll install it.
The next thing we have to do is put cardboard in the middle to smother the grass. Then we're going to add chicken wire on top to prevent moles from getting in and stealing your veggies. And then it's time for the dirt and the plants.
The plants.
Time to get dirty.
So what do you think? 2 beds in place.
Love it.
How do they
Really
look?
good.
It looks so good.
Yeah. We're missing one thing though, right?
Plants.
Some plants. I know. Well, we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to install a couple more things for you, and then we're going to do all the planting with you. We're going to show you how to take care of your plants, get you set up for success so you can grow beautiful food all summer long.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
much.
It's day 3. We're gonna get to planting. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
So excited.
Very excited.
All right, good. Let's do it.
Yay.
All right, so we have 3 tomato plants, and we'll make sure we know which one they are because they're all a little bit different. Something important about planting these is you're gonna want to get rid of some of these lower branches. You're gonna want to pinch off these bottom leaves as close to the stem as possible. So now we're gonna dig a nice hole. We're gonna want the dirt to come up around the stem pretty well. So you can kind of place it in, get an idea. We want these tomatoes planted pretty deeply because all of the little hairs on the stem will create roots, and that will make the plant a lot healthier. Tomatoes grow really fast, so we want to cage them and give them extra support so that they can grow nice and healthy and straight and not fall over. And then they'll continue to grow up through it. And you'll help train as the time goes, make sure that leaves are going up and over.
One of my absolute favorite things to grow in the garden is radishes. They're super easy, they're fast, they don't take any work at all once you put the seed in the ground, and they're delicious. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little grid here. We're going to plant probably 12 or 15 radishes. Again, making a little hole, not too deep, about as deep as your fingernail. And then we're going to drop 1 radish into each one of those. Now, I'm just planting this little patch for y'all here, but while these plants are still small, you could potentially plant radishes in all of this empty space because you're going to be harvesting them in about a month, which is well before any of these plants are going to be tall enough to cast shade on them. So that's up to you when we leave how much y'all want to fill in, but we're going to leave the seed packet with you and you're welcome to keep growing them. If you don't want to grow them in other spots, once you pull these out, you can turn right around and plant another batch right behind it.
Garden hands! Alright, so we're pretty much done planting these beds, but we have a couple other little maintenance things that we want to get going and watering, so we're kicking you out, and then we'll have you come back in just a few minutes. Hello. We are all done, and it's time to get Brianna and Chelsea to see their new garden.
Wow! Wow!
Wow! Oh,
Yay!
it's
It's so cute! Oh, guys! So cute!
adorable.
Thank you!
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. It's so cute.
So we planted you basil, oregano, and mint. Obviously, you've got plenty of room to expand if you wanted to hang some more stuff on there,
Yeah.
but figured just get you started.
Yay!
So we put an organic fertilizer on all your plants and watered them in, so you're good to go for the day. Just make sure you keep an eye on them. They're young, so they have fragile roots, so they're going to need just a little bit of water almost every day unless it rains. All right, y'all, we've done everything we can for you today. Your garden is in, your plants are in, the sun is up. It's all up to you now. Happy gardening. We'll be back in a couple weeks to check on your progress. Thanks for letting us garden with you.
Thank you!
All right, we'll see you later.
I'm so excited about how the garden turned out at Brianna and Chelsea's. I mean, it's just beautiful. The pots in the background really frame it, gives it a pop and some height and dimension.
I agree. I think we made some really good decisions when we were planning this garden. For instance, we chose to put it far enough away from the fence that they're going to be able to get the lawnmower all the way around it. And that's going to make a big difference when you're living with and taking care of this garden week in and week out.
Plus, I'm really happy with the designs. You got to be able to see that.
Yeah, it looked really cool. I was so glad that they liked it.
Me too. Well, I think they're going to really enjoy the variety that they have in the garden. They'll be able to make different dishes and learn new things.
Good job, babe.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.